Hello everyone. It's been a long time since I videoed. Excuse me. The reason I haven't started yet on my ramblings about this book by Shauna Niequist, I guess I haven't learned that yet, is because I got a new phone and my daughter-in-law's been helping to transfer everything over, and it got stuck on messages because my phone was so old. I had old messages from our homeschool co-op back when my kids were still in school, from volleyball days, from CCD notices, family, and I'm very bad about deleting stuff because I'm worried I'll delete something that I wish I would have kept. Of course, in hindsight, looking back through all those messages that I hadn't looked at in the past 5-6 years, I didn't miss them. Now they're in all these conversations are in my head again. And it's kind of weird. The things that I want to keep from it are, like when my dad was in the hospital, those last 3 years of his life, there's a lot of conversations, and I saw what we were going through, and it was as overwhelming as I thought it was at the time. And when you can step back and see what you went through, you realize what you've come through, and that's pretty amazing. And you realize the reason when you hear other people dealing with it, you think, oh my gosh, I couldn't handle it. And then you see that, yes, you did handle it. You see that you were taking it day by day, week by week, hour by hour. You didn't know the outcome. You were just handling what you needed to handle in the moment. So we're all capable of, not that I'm volunteering for, I feel like, knock on wood, that we are in a little reprieve right now. My family is. We've gone through a lot in the past 5 years. And so I'm going to take this reprieve as being a gift, and I'm going to relish in it. And I'm not going to look at what tomorrow is going to bring. It will have sorrows of its own. And but for now, I had at Easter break, we had 4 of the kids took off on trips, and another one came and met me at the camp, which is travel time. We all had a great time. We all got home safely. And that's pretty amazing. So I'm giving gratitude for that today. And which brings me to my book, and my whole rambling of why I hadn't started yet is I got a new phone. That's the lowdown version. I had so many people who said they wanted to hear my ramblings. And I'm grateful for that, because I really thought that I shouldn't bother. But evidently, especially from what one person said, there is not a lot of ramblings for the midlife people amongst us. I see a lot of younger wives and moms getting on, saying things so much better. They're so much prettier. They're more capable of putting words together. And I follow quite a few because I have lots of daughters that age group. So, and it spans from their 30s and 20s. So I pay attention to what they're saying, how they're living, their thought process, so I can connect better with my girls. And anyway, Thank y'all to the ones of y'all, excuse me, who said y'all wanted to hear my ramblings, because I'm a very good rambler. And this book is written by, I don't even know how old Shauna is, but I was hesitant to read it. I love her work. I love her writing, but I tend to be on a fence. That's a long story. I'm on a fence about what I read. So I just got this one as a feel-good. Her writing is very easy, she's easy to understand. She doesn't use a lot of big, strange words. And so anyway, I started reading, and I probably read a fourth of the book the first night I started. And so many things, I had so many ping moments. And so what I'm going to do is just bump around in her book, maybe discuss things that stand out to me. Midlife, I would say, begins sometimes in the 40s. I just made 56 in this April, and I do not mind sharing my age. I'm very grateful for every birthday that I'm blessed with, because I know some people are not blessed with those birthdays. They die young. I'm very blessed. And one of the things she talks about is starting over in a new city. Ironically, I started reading this when my two youngest girls were in New York City, and they love New York City. I've been to New York City one time, and all I can really remember is my mom constantly telling me to loop my purse around my shoulder to watch for pickpocketers. She wanted me to stay right next to her, and we went to the movies. Why we went to the movies in New York City, I have no idea. But we went to a movie theater with the friends we were with to watch Meatballs, which any midlife people remembers Bill Murray. He starred in it, and I love that movie to this day. To me, it brings back the 70s. But I was a teenager at the time, and all you could smell in the movie theater was not popcorn. It was marijuana. So I got my first smell of marijuana in New York City. Anyway, my girls love New York City, and I suspect they've gone to the better parts of New York City. We knew nothing. We got New York City at its rawest. So anyway, Sean and them moved to New York City. I'm sorry, I should have brought me a glass of water. And she talks about her boys having to adjust to new school and new friends, new teachers, and how they were doing okay, but there was so much, no matter where you move or what school you go to, it's a learning curve, right? You don't know what that class has processed before you got there. And of course, they're coming from the Midwest, from Kansas, I think. And she said the boys were asking, have I failed? Have I fallen behind? Am I dumb? And she says, I said, oh, my darlings, you're not dumb. You're new. We're all new. And we're not failing. We're learning. And it's exhausting and humbling and fun and hard. You know how my success rate on the subway is about 55? And you know how I always have to text Dad to meet me on 9th Avenue because I bought too many groceries and can't carry them all the way home because I'm used to having an SUV, and now all I have is my arms? I guess I haven't learned that yet. I wrote that sentence because I wanted us to have a common language for what it means to be a learner, a beginner, to be curious and make mistakes and get backed up, to ask questions and figure it out as we go. I told the boys that each of us was going to say that phrase every single day about something, and that it was a good thing, not a bad thing. Not knowing something already doesn't make you bad or dumb. It doesn't mean you failed. Not knowing something doesn't mean you're falling behind or fundamentally flawed. It just means there's more to learn. And I thought of that. We give kids the mentality of you have to learn this by the time you're 18 or you're a failure. They go into a new school and they don't know what their peers in that age group have learned. They may know something those other 20 kids don't know, but they don't focus on that. They focus on the things they don't know that those other kids know. We can all, as a writer, I can get 100 good reviews on something I wrote, and one bad review is what I remember. We're too hard on ourselves, and we are constantly learning. You think you know everything there is to know about parenting, and then you have a baby, and you realize you didn't know the half of it. You didn't know a fourth of it. And then you get to midlife with young adult children, and your children are educating you, and we want the world to stay the way it was when we were learning anew about it. And all of a sudden you're in your 40s, 50s. The world's changed, and it's changed a lot. And that's kind of what this book brought me to. Lots of thoughts that I hope to share with you. But this has been long enough, so I'll let y'all go, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.